Hello. No, that was not good. I always suck with that. Okay, this one is good. Hi, I'm Raquel.
I'm Eve. God, one day we will get this right.
And my name is Ka.
And welcome to
Throuples Therapy.
Three friends on a couch with an opinion. It's time for another session. We're not pros, but at least it's free. Better than your therapist. It's Throuples Therapy.
How is everybody doing today?
Good. I had some dreams last night that made me think about a topic we could talk about, which is my particularly humiliating past as a performance artist.
Oh.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it.
Do you know about that?
No.
I think Eve knows about my.
But
possibly.
I'm saying I want to talk about we can talk about my humiliating performance artist career, and you can decide if you want to talk about yours.
Okay, let's do it.
So I used to have I don't know if you know this about me. I used to have this Drake character named Angel Lecoq.
No.
And it was like performance art. This is like 2012 to 2014. And I would like do poetry, like iPhone poetry. And I just like shot up in the middle of the night last night and had this memory of doing a performance in the middle of Faggoty Ass Fridays. Did you ever go to that party?
No, but I heard about it.
No.
It was this infamous Montreal party, and this was such a thing of like early 2010s and 2000s Montreal queer party culture, where in the middle of a queer dance party there would always be a performance artist, like not like a fun drag number or like whatever. It was always like an art piece that was always so weird and like obscure. So I did it once, and me and a friend did it, and I said a poem that was called, and I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. It was called "My Anus is a Rosebud."
Do you still have that poem?
I tried so hard to find it for this because I thought it'd be so funny to read it, but I couldn't find it. But it was like, "My anus is a rosebud, flowering and free." Like it was like.
You better have rosebudded before, or else you are just appropriating an experience.
I hadn't. I was appropriating.
Wow, you never even had a rosebud.
Yeah. I love how you think that's the messed up part of it.
Wow, that's crazy. What did you do for the performance? Were you like...
I'm sure I was like... I was moving around.
Did you do anything with your anus?
Yeah.
No, but I feel like I stripped. Like I took off layers of clothes.
Classic.
And I was like, I'm so cool. Maybe I ate like a cream pie or something. Like it was really... I really thought I was doing something.
Okay. Since your vulnerability has inspired me, I also... Were you there for my performance that I'm about to talk about? Okay. This was probably a few years forward, 2017, 2016.
That's right.
Yeah. I was in my early 20s, and I was in a poetry workshop, QT BIPOC something, and we did a performance where I called my mother, and I put her on speakerphone, and I read poetry about whatever, being traumatized or whatever, generational trauma, to my mother in front of an audience, like a lot of people, in front of a pretty big audience.
There was like 100 people there.
Yeah, there was like 100 people there, and my mom was like, "Oh, like I forgot what she said." She was just like, I don't know, she said something on the phone where she was like, "Oh, I feel like I've like really hurt you or something, and you're like trying to express that to me or something, and like I love you." It was like something really sentimental, and then everyone started to clap. But here's the kicker: I didn't tell my mother that I was doing this.
Yeah.
I told her in advance. I was like, "I'm gonna call you on this time and this day, and I want to read something to you." But I failed to mention that it was gonna be in front of an audience of like 100 people. So we're having this moment on the phone, and then people start clapping.
Wow.
And then I hang up on her. She was fucking livid. Like afterwards, she's like, "Don't air out our dirty laundry for your fucking art." Like, she
You
was.
were also coming out. Weren't you coming out to her?
I think it was a bit like it was like in like poetry, so it was a bit
Yeah.
like not super clear.
I am of the sky, or whatever.
But yeah, and I remember this was like peak my like milking my familial trauma for art, which I did a lot in my early 20s and was weirdly surprisingly successful. But yeah, I remember recently, like last year or something, I was on Tinder and some queer and I matched and they messaged me and they're like, "Did you do a performance piece years ago where you called your mother and read her your poetry on speakerphone?" And I blocked them. I was like, "You know too much." I was like, I transitioned to escape this memory, so I was like, "You know too much." I blocked them immediately. But that's of my.
That's amazing. Like that makes me think that you should maybe continue expressing, exploring that avenue. Maybe go on to Family Feud, Canada.
They want me to so bad.
Yeah.
What if you call her right now? I'm just kidding.
Would you have any of your relatives or your close family on this podcast as a guest?
Yeah, I would.
No. Absolutely not.
See, for me, it's very safe to suggest that because there's never going to be any relative of mine in here and they barely speak English. So
Same. Honestly, same.
Oh, damn. No, I have to do it.
Well, thank you so much for being vulnerable with me and sharing all of this. I never did any kind of performance art. The only embarrassing art I did when I was younger was music. I wrote shitty songs and I was in a band or two. Sometimes I might have sang some of those shitty songs to poor victims in Spain.
Wow.
But
What were they about? Like, what was the vibe? What was the genre? Can I guess? Can we guess?
oh my god, that's
Yes, I
that's
wanna
gonna be
guess. I wanna
embarrassing.
guess.
That's gonna
My guess is like pop punk, about like being angsty. Hold on, it's so it's like it's coming. It's just on the corner of my eye, like being angsty about something.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. My mind, I feel like I don't know a lot of music genres, but it definitely feels like some sort of like band, like punk or rock, but like slow. And then I also think it's like it sounds like a breakup song, like you're singing about a girl, but that girl is actually capitalism.
Oh my god. Yes. Yeah. Just some general angst. I like the guess that it's slow though. That's interesting.
I mean, but it wasn't about capitalism. It was about gender.
Oh.
No, that is what I say now to make it look better. But no, it was shit. It was shit.
During the pandemic, I learned how to play the acoustic guitar by playing Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney on repeat. And then I wrote a bunch of like 4-chord sad boy songs.
If
Wait, so what was it?
No, I mean, it tend to be angsty and somewhere like not punk pop. No, like it's somewhere you got it right. Somewhere between both of what you said. Yeah,
Amazing. We're really getting to know each other.
yeah.
Do you feel like your art practice has like changed for the better or the worse with like not wanting to like be as like, I don't know, like trauma dumpy, vulnerable as your like early 20s?
But I mean, I am trauma dumpy and vulnerable in different ways. There are layers. Maybe there's some layers of irony and whatnot. But I think, I mean, you've seen my stand-up. I get vulnerable. I love a vulnerable motherfucker on stage.
I feel like the big thing that changed for me was that I think that era of my art, the Angel Lecoq era of my art, was all about being trauma dumpy and trying to make the audience feel bad.
Yes.
Like, I guess for me or with me.
Yeah.
And I'm so uninterested in that now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really got up there and was like, I'm so like fuck. I was so angry. I was such a like angry genderqueer person. You
Yeah.
know, I feel like being genderqueer in the world was also just like so scary and confusing that
Yeah.
like I was like really mad all the time.
Yeah. I had a friend recently like come to one of my comedy shows and was joking about like, I'm so glad that the queers are out of the like sad poetry era and in the like stand-up comedy laughter era. Like it feel like, you know, it feels like the like community is like healing in some ways.
Yeah. It really was like a thing.
Oh
like,
yeah, the
so
sad
much
poetry. Yeah, so much poetry. I mean, I still have a love for poetry. I would like to go to a spoken word night soon. It's been a minute.
Well, I mean, at the Polymic, which is coming. Well, by the time this is aired, it's gonna be back. We're trying to mix it up. We'll have a bit of poetry, a bit of music, a bit of comedy, but all of it. When I'm hosting, all of it has to be sad. Sad music, sad poetry, sad comedy.
So from the very pretentious, it's just become the very depressed comedy show.
Yeah. No, I'm joking. There's the wide range of emotions.
This really reminds me of another embarrassing moment in my life where I was performing on what I thought and I believe was told was a variety show. And this is back before I started doing comedy. So I came and it was like 2016. I was so sad. I came with like such a sad like acoustic guitar song. And it turns out it was not a variety show. It was, in fact, a comedy show. But I still played my, like, sad guitar song.
How did it go?
Like, fine. Like, people were supportive. But there was definitely some, like, great song. Like, after, yeah.
Did
no
you get
fist bumps.
no
I
fist?
did not. No. It was humiliating. I still think about that all the time. But I swear to God, I was told that it was a variety show.
Not for your variety.
Not for that
Not
variety.
for
Not
that
that
variety.
various.
Not that variation.
Did you guys ever do Facebook poetry? Like, I definitely posted, like, angsty Facebook poetry sometimes.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, me neither.
Should we bring some of our old poetry? Do you still have some? Should we guarantee the next episode or the Patreon that
Yeah.
we'll upload some readings of our old music
I
and our old poetry?
I did try to find some for this.
I
but
definitely have a notebook at home that I could whip out
Okay, let's do it. Let's bring some of our old art, our old bad art.
to the next episode.
I'm so glad things like TikTok didn't exist when I was first trying to do art and stuff. Like,
That there's less documentation.
there's
you
less
mean?
documentation, and I like am glad. Like, the most that people would see it are like the people who come to the show or
Yeah.
like a few friends on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, like if some of my old performance art clips went viral on TikTok, that would be so something.
Yeah.
It would be something.
Recently, I ran into someone who was like, "Did you write this play like a few years back or whatever?" Plucked, and I was like, "Yeah, that was me." And I was like, "Oh no, you know, that was another one of my trauma dump works." And they're like, "Yeah, like, I mean, I know I heard there was a lot of drama around that show, but like, I really like the script." And I was like, "What drama?" Like, I was like, I did. I was like, "Wait, what drama?" They're like, "I don't know. It was way back. Like, I don't really remember." And I was like, "What was the drama?" Like, I was like, "What?" I was like, "I thought I was on good terms with everybody," but I was like,
Apparently
"What was the
not.
drama around my show?" Yeah.
So you were the one who wrote Plugged.
What are you?
Oh my God,
Are
I
you
can't
sure?
be in this
Are
podcast
you
anymore.
what? Are you?
No.
I found out a fun fact about bottom surgery, and I want to know if it's true.
'Kay.
About specifically like MTF bottom surgery or vaginoplasty. Someone told me that when she got her bottom surgery, that they didn't put her under, that you're awake for the entire surgery.
I think I don't know. I mean, I don't want to call this person a liar. I guess it might be true. My memory is that in the middle of the surgery, I woke up and told them that my arm was in an uncomfortable position. That's
And then they put you back under?
no. I mean, it's just like I don't know,
Like you were kind of under, but
kind
not
of
totally.
under,
Okay.
but no, it's like so like I mean,
Kind of under. Because when I got top surgery, I was like, I remember just going, and then they put the mask on you, and they're like, we're going to count down 5, 4. And then I was like, I remember going, bye-bye. And then everyone laughing, and I was like, "Yeah, still crashing those jokes."
Even on the table.
I know. And then I just remember blacking out, and then waking up, and then also cracking another joke because they had the giant ice bags. Yeah, but then that was it. Knocked out cold.
Right.
Just bye.
One of my worst nightmares is that I'm supposed to be put under, but then I'm like awake, but they can't tell, and I can't tell them. You know what I mean? It's never happened to me, but
Kind of like sleep paralysis, but they're opening you up.
Oh wow.
yeah.
No, I mean, for me, it was perfectly fine.
But you were under. You were knocked out cold. Or like not super weak. You were just sedated.
I don't know. I don't know what's the difference there. But I knew I was so calm, you know, because the cocktail of meds they give you for that is like
fun.
Yeah, it was very fun. It was very fun. Anyone that I've talked to that has had that kind of surgery has fond memories.
You're like, that's why I got it.
Yeah.
Just to get the cocktail of drugs.
Yeah.
You did a leftist comedy show recently?
A leftist comedy show. I performed at a leftist independent media conference show. Yeah, I did.
Do you want to talk about that?
It was great. I don't know what you're talking about. No, it was wonderful. It's just funny to do a show. It's funny to do comedy shows where you're the only comedy on the act. It's like this is the opposite of the variety show trauma I had. But it was like there was a serious panel and then me, and then a serious panel and then me.
Wow.
And like half the people in the room paying attention, which is fine, but it was kind of a fun challenge.
Nice.
But it was tough, I'm not going to lie.
How was that leftist crowd? Did they like
What
to
kind of
laugh?
leftists were they?
Well, they were like, I made a joke. I wrote a brief, like really short new song about Mark Carney, and they like loved that, like making fun of Mark Carney. So it was that kind of crowd. And I did watch the Liberal leadership debate.
Fun.
Wow.
Yeah, for 6.5 minutes because that's all I could get through. They all have the charisma of a freaking like paper bag.
Wow.
It's humiliating.
When I first moved to Montreal, I tried to go to the local university's like communist group meetup, and I was like I arrived or whatever, and I was outside and I was trying to smoke a cigarette, so I needed a lighter, and I went to some guy and I was like, "Hey, can I borrow a lighter?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "Thanks, boss." And then he looks at me super seriously. He's like, "Do I make you feel like an undervalued and underappreciated working man?" And I was like, "Nah, boss, it's all good." He was so concerned.
Was he concerned or was he offended?
I think he was kind of offended.
They call him a slur.
I literally called him a derogatory term.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
and then later someone also referred to me as Comradina.
Comradina.
Like the female version of a comrade, I guess.
Isn't the point of comrade that
it's gender neutral? That's what I thought. Yeah, that was my.
Ricks.
Wow.
But I have a great.
What's happening?
What? You have a great...
Never mind. What's
happening? My neighbor is a hot communist.
A hot communist?
A hot communist part of a communist student group. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had a good experience overall. It was just a very funny moment. Don't go in there calling people boss, let me tell you.
Yeah. My experiences with like communist student organizing were more boring. So my experiences in general are more boring than yours, but like I had my brief moment of flirting with that in Spain, and these people love meetings.
Yeah.
They love like a dance meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emotions.
Yeah. I definitely joined when I was a teenager. I went to like the Occupy Vancouver movement.
Yeah.
I like moved in for a bit. Like I had a couple friends that had a tent out there. So I like camped in the tent for a bit, and I went to a few meetings, and I was like a teen. And I just remember going to multiple meetings where people were trying to choose which hand signals and like what they meant in meetings.
My God.
It was like multiple series, but they wanted consensus. So they're trying to get consensus on whether or not like this means stop or this means agree. You know, like.
I have such a my first year in Montreal was 2011, 2012. So it was during the student movement.
Nice.
And also during Occupy. So there was like such like a social movement energy in the air. But that just like reminded me so much of this huge student assembly that happened outside at McGill one day, and the first thing that happened was like the people on the mic being like, okay, does anyone have a suggestion of how we should do this? And like they just took like it was a cool experiment in like direct democracy, but like the amount of time just deciding how to do the meeting was hilarious. It really is like a meeting enthusiasts club.
Yeah, but I think in particular of all the types of leftists, communists, they love, they love a document and go over like line by line, and in ways that at that time, it was many years ago, I guess the language about disability and accessibility, all of that, there was not so much talk of it. But I feel like for anyone with any kind of ADD, like you can't be a Marxist-Leninist.
No. Earth signs only.
No.
Yeah, I know everyone's always like, oh, the gays have an agenda. It's like, no, we just like to make them, but we don't have one. we just want to sit in a meeting.
I love an agenda. I love.
You're very good. You're surprising. Well, I don't know why.
Surprisingly good at it. But I think that's my particular brand of ADHD. Is I need to have structure.
Yeah,
and I get excited about the structure. So
I like to-do lists. I don't really keep an agenda. I just keep a list of things I need to do every week. And then like next week transfer over the ones that have it. I'm satisfied crossing off the list. But you know what I think is really sexy? A good Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, I love Excel spreadsheets. Raquel, do you like Excel spreadsheets?
I've been roasted about my appreciation for Excel spreadsheets for a long time. Once in a radio show, another Montreal comedian was talking to another comedian, kind of making fun about how I kept my jokes organized on a spreadsheet back in the day.
Love that.
I love a spreadsheet.
I'm not very good at making
happy.
them. But like when I see a good one, when someone gives me a good one, it's nice.
I could teach you. I'm not to brag, very good at it.
Wow.
I know like the weird
formulas.
I know the weird formulas.
That's crazy.
Like you make one thing, you make one list of things, and then you have another list of things that like looks through the list and like tabulates all the ones that have like a certain like tag attached to them.
Talk dirty to me, Eve.
And like the color coding and the sorting, it just VLOOKUP exactly, or index, or there's a whole world for you.
Sexy formulas. Sexy formulas.
It's like if you're making if you go through if you put all your receipts for the year, for the month or something, all your expenses, and then you can be like VLOOKUP, and it like you do the sum of all the times you bought groceries. So it like looks through the table and it like picks out all the ones that say groceries, and then it adds the number beside it into one thing.
That's crazy.
Which I guess by now pivot tables are better for that. But oh my god,
I like to do it old school though.
What a topic of conversation.
I know.
Eve was doing that leftist show last night. I did two interesting shows. One of them, Ka witnessed half of it.
Yeah, I walked in and you're like, "Hey, it's Ka!"
Yeah, there was no stage. They gave me a microphone. I was sitting by the door. So obviously, Ka walked in front of me. I think if anyone is listening to this and at some point they organize shows, I recommend stages for like anywhere. When there's a comedian, a stage that is good. But that was fun. That was a fun one for the few people that were actually paying attention. And after that, I also did a shibari show last night. I mean, I didn't do shibari. I performed comedy at a shibari club, and that I felt intimidated as a person who can barely tie her own shoelaces, and also because I guess one of the reasons I was booked there is because I'm trans. People assume that if you're trans,
You're into shibari.
you like kinky stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
People do assume that all the time.
and I mean, I guess it tends to be true.
Why'd you look at me when you
I don't know.
Yeah, I did.
One of my friends knew that I was booked on this show because she saw it advertised on FetLife.
Wow.
You've made it.
How did you break into this market?
Wow.
But yeah, I'm a little bit of a vanilla bitch. Like during the pandemic, I made a FetLife account just to say that I was vanilla, and I never logged in for 2 years until at some point I remember and I deleted it. But that's my relationship with the kink community. I just made an account there to make it clear, like, I don't know what you're expecting of me.
But don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. Keeping expectations low. But no, it was fun. It was fun making all these little perverts laugh. I would recommend it.
I did talk to someone once who said that their favorite role play was like librarian role play, which might be for you, because they were like, I love just like shushing someone.
Sorry, it makes me laugh.
Yeah, they just want to be like, shh. Oh my God, I have a funny story. I had a friend who had a client who was like to be domed and like humiliated, but specifically about the fact that he was a separatist.
Oh my God.
I just wanted to be like, wow, you silly little boy. Like, you think Quebec should separate from Canada, you fucking idiot. Like, you think that would ever actually happen?
Whoa, there's so much in there.
Yeah.
I love it.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, to be, like, the dom is supposed to be the Anglophone being like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, stay with Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I think that's interesting. I just said I'm not into kink, but if there's anyone out there who would like some sort of political dom, I would be happy to role play different parts of the political spectrum. That sounds awesome.
Does it?
Yeah, for me, I don't know. To each their own.
I don't know. I don't know if I could do that.
Be a dom or be a political dom?
No, the political dom part.
Oh. God, you opened a new world of possibilities for me.
The kink world is very vast, Raquel.
Yeah.
I better restart
Yeah.
that.
I need to go back there.
What would your ideal political doming situation be?
Yeah.
Who are you doming?
Mark Carney. No. I mean, who am I? I think maybe those Spanish communists that made me go through those meetings. Maybe I'm like, maybe or maybe. Canadian newspaper columnists. Those, established, National Post writers.
Yes, right.
Those I would dom them. Yeah, that would be fun. I don't know.
Wow.
And you?
Who would
Yeah,
I
yeah.
politically like to dom? Oh my God.
Such a weird question.
I have no idea. I mean, I think the separatists. Everyone knows I'm a bit of a keb chaser.
It's so true.
But if you're doming them, kind of like you're putting them in their place. So
I feel like, not to be rude, both of you are misunderstanding the assignment that you will be put on. Like, it's gonna be some like right-wing transphobic like asshole who wants to be dommed, by a trans girl being like, yeah, we are taking over, you stupid bitch or whatever. Like, put on this underwear. Like, that's what's gonna happen, and I want no part of that.
Really? I'm not just gonna make fun of like.
It's not gonna be some hot leftist who wants you to like tell them you tell them you're wrong. Like, it just. I think you got it wrong.
I think you underestimate my ability to fuck with the minds of people. Once I get in the zone.
No. I agree that you could, but I think the people who want to be politically dommed have extreme opinions in that way. You know?
I would plant the seeds of confusion. Yeah. I have a question from the audience.
Oh,
okay.
Why is everyone giving y'all questions? Someone send me some questions.
Yeah,
from the audience.
questions.
Oh wow, you're pulling out your phone and everything.
I mean, I wanna.
I really think we should call the listeners clients.
The
yes.
clients.
We have a question from a client.
Yeah, from a client.
Okay. Here you go.
Oh, it's long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dear Throuple, I've enjoyed your first episodes a lot. Keep it up. I have a question that is keeping me up at night, and I think you might be able to help me with it. Who should be the next leader of the NDP? No.
I was actually
No,
so
no.
excited. Okay.
The question is, I've been struggling to get over an ex. It's been 8 months since we broke up, and I've had some flings since then.
Did I write this?
But you know, when that I get distracted, but then that gets over, and I go back to obsessing about this ex. What can I do?
Good luck. And when you figure it out, let us know. I think trying to have flings with other people to get over your ex never works.
Really? Because Samantha
Yeah.
in Sex and the City, what does she think? She's like, to get over somebody, you got to get under somebody else.
That's true.
But no, you disagree?
I mean, in my experience, it hasn't. It doesn't. You just
No.
need time.
How much time? Okay, because I know this person and I know the situation. So, what is there a ratio of like duration of the relationship and duration of like how long is it acceptable to feel sad about it?
Yes.
According to Sex and the City again, Charlotte says it takes half the time of the relationship to get over the relationship. So if the relationship was 3 years, then it takes you 1.5 years, for example. But honestly, I disagree. There's no timeline for grief. And like, you know, and like sometimes, I don't know, some heartbreaks are, I mean, also, you know, these queers out here, we have like 3-month long, super intense, rip your heart out, shove it back in your gut, throw up your feelings relationships that feel like they lasted 7 fucking years and you've been dating for 3 months. So, you know, sometimes it'll take you a long time to grieve that really catatonic, codependent 3-month relationship.
Absolutely.
Because it felt like 7. So, yeah, I agree with Eve. Time. I feel like unfollowing social media, like trying to see them as little as possible, like making it inaccessible to creep or stalk or look at or see what they're up to. Don't go sneaking on their LinkedIn. You know, my friend had an ex who was creeping on. They blocked them on everything and saw their ex creep on LinkedIn. But
because it shows up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's humiliating.
but yeah, I
Block
think
them on Grindr.
yeah, don't want to see what they're up to.
Remember the bad qualities of them.
Yes,
Because, like, you broke up for a reason.
yeah,
And that's sometimes hard to remember when you're broken up because you're like, oh, it was so nice. I missed the, like, good parts of it. But you have to remember the bad parts. And
Yeah.
write down the bad parts.
Yeah.
Or, like, the reasons why you broke up. Or reasons why you don't want to get back together with them.
Yeah.
And in those moments when you, like, forget and you, like, miss them so much, like, let yourself miss them and be sad about it. That's fine. But then go back to the list and be like, oh, yeah. they didn't get me a Christmas present.
And do all the things that you couldn't do with them. Like, let's say they have a severe peanut allergy. Start eating a lot of peanut butter. You know, like, you know,
Yes.
if they really hated a certain type of music, blast that music all the time. You know,
Yeah.
all the limitations. Yeah,
If they wouldn't let you
Yeah.
politically dom them, like find someone else who will.
yeah.
Okay, this I hope the audience member will find this useful.
Yeah, I feel like you need some
Heartbreaks.
time.
Yeah.
Honestly, at the end of the day, it's just gonna be time. And heartbreaks, they're intense. Heartbreak is rough.
It's really rough.
Have you had a lot of heartbreaks?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I love a good heartbreak.
I've had 4 major heartbreaks, I would say.
I haven't had any heartbreaks in sobriety yet,
Oh.
and I'm honestly quite terrified.
I found it easier.
Really?
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, like, yeah, you feel there's less things you can use to numb.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I mean, my experience with not sobriety with substances was to push myself more into the bad feelings. So
Mhm.
I kind of feel like I'm getting over it quicker
Mm.
being sober. That's just what I'm telling myself.
I'm one of these people that is like drawn to like the feelings of the heartbreak. It's almost addictive, and it's funny because it doesn't correlate with like the stronger heartbreaks don't correlate with the best relationships or the longest ones.
Mm.
It's a bit random in that sense.
Mm.
And, you know, it leads to like a lot of like listening or writing the angsty music. It's
Do you think it's messed up that I also kind of feel like this as an artist when you go through something like heartbreak? It's like so sad, but then in the back of your mind, you're like, yes, like material.
mhm.
Would you write stand-up comedy about being heartbroken?
I mean,
I have.
I have to. I
Oh.
feel.
hmm
Sometimes when me and my boyfriend get in fights, I write jokes that I would write if we broke up. But we
Oh, it's got like the bank just in case it happens. Oh my god. Do they know?
I think so. I don't know. We had one big fight when we started dating, and I was like writing a breakup set. But it was like really early
Damn.
on. I don't do
Damn.
that anymore. We're too far along now, too committed.
I did start writing a breakup song while I was still dating this last person because I just had a feeling it was heading towards that.
Mm.
And then we broke up pretty soon after that. And then part of me was like, did I make this happen? Did I like manifest this? But
I think breakups are like they're great for art. Most of the
Yeah.
best art has to do with that, and that's why AI will never take over art
Mm.
because who's gonna break up with AI?
True.
Us,
us, we were breaking
and
up.
maybe the
We're done.
Oh.
Are you usually the dumper or the dumpy?
I am the dumpy,
Mm.
but like
Is it because you're conflict avoidant or because it comes out of left field?
I am conflict avoidant, and even when I'm not happy, I tend to let things rot.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I think now you're making. I think out of the 5 relationships that have been serious enough to have breakups I've had, I feel like I've been the dumper 3.5 times out of 5.
Mm.
The halftime was like he broke up with me, but I feel like I had to facilitate it.
Mm.
mhm.
You know.
Damn. So should we move on to real trauma, fake trauma?
Yeah, let's do it. I do have one.
Oh, I have one too, but
Well, should we do both?
should we do double trauma?
You should do rock paper scissors.
You should go first.
I should go first?
Yeah.
Okay. It's very short. I have a very short one.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, so this is the part of the show where we tell you our deepest, darkest, fakest traumatic events in our lives, possibly. So,
Possibly. And then we guess if it's real.
we guess if
true
it's
or not.
real or it's not. Okay, so my trauma is childhood trauma, infant trauma, actually, that was told to me because apparently I was a baby who wanted to be breastfed too long. So supposedly my mother put hot sauce on her nipple and made me breastfeed, and then I never breastfed again after that. That's it. That's all it is. And this is why I am the way that I am.
Well, I have a question. Like, how is this impacting your life now? Like, what's your relationship to nipples now?
I do love nipples. I love to suck a nipple. And I do have a fear that everyone's going to abandon me at all times. And I feel like this goes back to like infancy. Like,
I have another question.
Okay.
What's your relationship with hot sauce?
I love hot sauce.
Okay.
I love hot sauce.
We're asking such like, what's your relationship to nipples? What's your relationship to hot sauce? Because like this is affecting my like understanding of people abandoning me. Like it's so much more emotional. But we're like, yeah, but what about sriracha?
Love sriracha. I bought 3 bottles when they said it was gonna stop being made.
Well, it kind of makes sense because I feel like often we want to relive our trauma on our terms so we can re-understand it. Have you tried reenacting putting hot sauce on your lover's nipples?
No, I haven't.
And do you have any
Would you be
interest
open to it?
Yeah.
I honestly am having a bit of a somatic reaction right now. Like I'm a
yeah,
little
you
like I'm a
are.
little like I'm a little like I don't know about that.
No. Also, that doesn't actually sound fun at all.
No, for either parties, I
No.
don't think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
because I feel like it would burn the nipple too.
Yeah.
Has your
Yeah.
mom ever talked about that? Is there some resentment there?
I mean, I think she has a lot of resentment in general. I don't know if it's about the fact that she had to put hot sauce on her nipple or that I look like a man.
It's one of those.
using family trauma for art once more.
Once more. Should I just call her up and ask her about the
Oh my
nipple
God.
trauma?
I think this is real. Yeah.
I also think it's real. I think the somatic reaction is what really like solidified it to me, and I could see it in your body.
Yeah.
Where is it right now in your body? Can we be curious about? Yeah. So if we just pay attention to here, what do we? Is there an emotion? Is there a thought that comes along with touching yourself so inappropriately like that?
I actually feel nothing since I had them cut off and reattached to my body.
Wow,
It's probably yeah. I didn't want to say it, but I saw a connection
Oh
there.
my God, should I say it's actually my mother's fault that I got top surgery
Oh my God, call her up right now.
because she traumatized me with boobs and I just couldn't have my own anymore.
Okay, no, like now that I think about it, it's a dangerous path. You know, if I blame you wanted top surgery because of that trauma, like what does it say about my bottom surgery? No, doesn't work like that.
We'll see.
So
Is it real or is it not? Is it valid or is it not?
it's so real.
Yes,
It haunts
I
me
knew
to
it.
this day.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's real as my mother told me it happened. I don't remember, obviously. I was a literal infant, but she told me the story that she did this to me. Yeah.
Wow. And when did you find out that she did this to you? Like, what point in your life were you told the story?
Like recently.
And did
Yeah.
it like? What was your somatic reaction?
It was like, you know that moment? It's like where the meme with like the math and then
Yeah.
it's like, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. I was like, oh my God, it all makes sense now.
Wow.
Like all of it, you know? It's like the first childhood trauma resulted in everything else in my life, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's deep stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
I know.
we're
I
really
got
getting
really
to know each
vulnerable
other
on the show.
We're really trauma dumping. See, it is the same, just in a different form.
Yeah, this is my free anus rosebud moments.
My anus is a rosebud, forever alone. I feel like that was a line, forever alone or something. God, so pretentious.
I was thinking the other day, because the world is pretty looking doom and gloom right now, right? So
It is pretty looking.
I've been getting into like what's it called? Like people who like prep, the preppers. like the doomsday preppers kind
Obviously,
of people.
my mind immediately went to prep. People who like prep. I'm like, yeah.
But hold on. Doesn't it defeat the purpose of doomsday prepping if you're announcing on a podcast that you are prepping? They're gonna.
What?
I don't think prepping has.
Why does it have to be secret? Yeah, why does it have to be secret to prep?
I mean, I part of it is like, because it's more like civilization's gonna collapse, right?
Exactly.
Not like they're coming out to get you.
No.
That's the kind of thoughts I have.
No. It's more like preparing for the fall of civilization, fall of And then I was thinking like, what would like a queer bunker look like? Like, what do you think?
God.
Do you think queer doomsday preppers look different? Like, what would you put in your bunker?
CDJs. Like a PA to have a DJ set.
To throw raves, underground raves in the doomsday.
Maybe that's why the whole
How
raves and
trans
bunkers
girl of
thing.
you.
I know. I love electronic music. Such a stereotype. Such an obscure stereotype. A copy of Judith Butler's 1990s work on gender.
I find it heartwarming. Your optimism on like that civilization will collapse and queer people will get to have bunkers. Like, I think it's inspiring.
You don't think we'll have bunkers?
Well, I don't want to end on a dark note here.
Think about the collective organizing already built in. I feel
Yeah,
like
those
high
bike-
heels
yeah,
were more
the
set up.
The
More
queer
rate
bike
up.
punks. The queer bike punks got many a bunkers.
Exactly.
They could build one in 2 seconds, and they have fat asses also.
And yeah, we're
Sorry, baby.
we're airing it out on the screen for the enemy.
It doesn't have to be secret, Raquel.
Everything has visibility is a trap. That's clear. 2025 visibility is a trap. This me talking to a camera right now is a form of self-harm.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Speaking of therapy, oh my god. Wait, what else? I really like the question of what is in the queer prep bunker.
Yeah, I think we'll have bunkers. The lesbians will build
Come on.
bunkers.
Sure, the lesbians will build bunkers, and the gays, the
will-
trans women were fucked.
Well, no, because
Stop having no faith in us, Raquel.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a bunker. You can join my bunker.
Okay.
should we say goodbye to our audience?
Let's say goodbye.
From us therapists, our Throuples therapies, to our clients.
See you next week. When are you available next? Should we schedule in another appointment down the road?
I'll put it in my Excel spreadsheet.
Take care of yourselves.
Bye.
Throuples Therapy is a production by the three of us. Don't forget to follow us at Throuples Therapy Pod. See you next time.